All right, guys. Let's move on to our third bit of movie news today. And our third bit of movie news, there's a new movie coming out called Mank. It is essentially based on the life of oh shoot, what's his name? Mankiewicz. Oh, I had his first name perfectly crafted in my brain. I can't think of it. Josh, help me out. Oh shoot.
I, sorry. Uh,
Well, here it's in the article. So let's just scroll down here a little bit. It's the new film by David Fincher. If you haven't seen the trailer, drop what you're doing and go see it. Just watch this trailer. Come back to this video and pick it up from where you left off. Herman Mankiewicz was a real life, not just character, he was a real life human being who helped write the script for the extremely critically acclaimed film Citizen Kane. Now, Citizen Kane is not, full disclosure, it's not my favorite film of all time. It is critically regarded as the best movie ever made. The greatest movie ever made, Citizen Kane, kind of universally accepted as the greatest film ever made. I take issue with that. I don't think it is the greatest movie ever made. Some people are in agreement with me. Some people disagree with me. That's fine. All film is subjective. But here's the thing. Orson Welles almost exclusively gets all credit when it comes to the writing of the film, of Citizen Kane. You know, he was, I think, 21 when he made this film. He wrote it, he directed it, he starred in it, he produced it. That alone, like, take any one of those four things that I just mentioned. That is an incredible feat for a 21-year-old to do. To star in a major film, to direct a major film, to produce a major film, to write a major film. Any one of those things is an incredible feat. And he did all four of them. With the exception of possibly writing the film. There's a little bit of controversy here, and that is what this movie is about. This movie follows the not the adventures, but kind of the story of Herman Mankiewicz, as he went by the nickname Mank, kind of his story. And over the years, there have been some challenging reports coming out saying that Orson Welles didn't write as much as we all would like to give him credit for, right? Herman Mankiewicz was the one who actually ended up writing the movie Citizen Kane, and this film by David Fincher explores that story. Josh, first of all, are you familiar with this story? I know you've seen Citizen Kane. I think we've actually watched it together a few times. We have thoughts and
yeah.
opinions on that.
I was not aware of this. I always, like a lot of people, I thought it was written by Orson Welles as well. And I just looked at the IMDb, and Orson Welles is credited first as screenplay, and then Mankiewicz. So he's still top billing, at least in IMDb or Wikipedia, but as having first billing on writing. So I wasn't aware of this person at all, honestly, until you had mentioned him. So this is all very big news to me.
Yeah, it's the kind of news that in some ways it kind of feels like it just came out of nowhere. Like if you are a huge Citizen Kane fan, if you're a huge Orson Welles fan, you probably were already aware of this controversy, I guess. Or maybe already aware of the story. But as you know, some of these reports that have been coming out over the past 80 years, 70 years, however, because the film was made in the 30s. So however many reports have been coming out over the decades, which probably not that many, but enough to substantiate a very decently sized claim that maybe Orson Welles didn't didn't write as much of the film as we would like to think. Now, Josh, did you get a chance to watch this trailer at all before we started talking about it, before the show?
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I did not. I was just looking at. I kind of saw our topics, but I did get to see the trailer. Having said that, I did go back and kind of look at some of David Fincher's stuff, and I was like, I feel embarrassed that I wasn't as familiar with some of his work until I realized what he had done, and I was like, oh my gosh, of course, David Fincher's amazing. He did all these amazing movies, especially in the '90s. I feel like was such a hot decade for him. Fight Club and one of my personal favorite movies of all time, The Game,
Oh,
starring Michael
so
Douglas.
good.
A brilliant movie. It's such a fun, just a well filmed movie. Anyway, so I kind of got reacquainted briefly with some everything that he had done, and I was like, oh yeah, this is just on that alone. Seeing a David Fincher movie, yes, yes,
Well, I
please.
mean, like I just looked up his filmography here on IMDb. I mean, let's go backwards for a second. I'm only gonna list the big projects that he's been working on. Mindhunter, the television show on Netflix, wildly acclaimed Mindhunter. Gone Girl, House of Cards, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Social Network, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Zodiac, Panic Room, Fight Club, The Game, Seven. Um, he did Aerosmith's Big Ones You Can Look At in back in 1994,
Video when it came out when I was like in
right?
1990.
Alien 3, there's a huge controversy about his version of Alien 3. I mean, like, his credits just go on and on and on. He's an acclaimed filmmaker. He's genius. He's brilliant. He does incredible work. And if you look at this particular film, the way that it's filmed, it's all black and white. It has that 1930s kind of feel to it, like late 30s, early 40s, even maybe a little bit of the swinging 20s. Is that what they refer? The Roaring 20s, excuse me, has a little bit of the Roaring 20s feel to it. Old school Hollywood. There's a shot in the trailer where you can see Hollywoodland, up in the Hollywood Hills. It's a beautiful looking film, impeccably well acted, at least in this trailer, by Amanda Seyfried. I can't think of his name. The dude from Game of Thrones, Lannister, Papa Lannister, his name, that guy.
Oh,
Tywin
not,
Lannister, that guy.
oh,
And
okay.
obviously the titular character, played by why am I forgetting everybody's names? Gary Oldman. I mean, this just looks like a brilliant film, an Oscar contender to beat. Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts about it. It just looks like a brilliant trailer. Josh, any other last thoughts?
Well, I did relook at Wikipedia. He is listed. Makowitz is listed as the first writer, and then Orson Welles. So maybe it was IMDb, but so it seems like he is sort of at least credit. It's not like he's like lost to history, but maybe just to the sort of public knowledge, the public idea of that. And you see, I feel like you're seeing a lot of that recently. Like we went to a while ago. We went to the Museum of the Moving Image, and there was a presentation of Creature of the Black Lagoon in 3D, which was really cool. And I had never seen it all the way through until then. It was so good. But there was an author there, and I can't remember the name of her book, but she talked about how the creation of the creature from the Black Lagoon was largely uh, not misaccredited, but sort of like forgotten that this person, this female makeup artist, was sort of forgotten throughout time, and he was the person who made it took all the or the person the sorry, I'm not articulating this well, but the person who got all the credit was not her. So the whole idea is that like it's great that sort of these stories of old Hollywood are coming out of like, hey, we revere this person for this thing, but really it was kind of this person, or really it was this group of people, or really like let's give credit where credit is due kind of story, which I
And I
really like.
feel like in American culture, it's very typical for one person to say, "Hey, I did all the work, and I'm going to take all the credit." It's that I talk about it as the John Wayne kind of factor of we love to have these American heroes, and oh, it's such a wonderful thing that one person did all of these great, big, huge, wonderful, amazing things, and oftentimes that's not the case. Very famously, Ian Fleming, this actually took him to his grave, but for the writing of the book Thunderball, just before he wrote the book Thunderball, he had a party over at his house. A whole bunch of friends came over. One person in particular, Kevin McClory. The two of them started spitballing ideas back and forth, which eventually became the foundation for the book Thunderball, which eventually became the movie Thunderball. So when Kevin McClory took Ian Fleming to court over this and said, no, 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 you did not write this story solely by yourself. I helped infuse a lot of ideas here. That trial in that court case was so stressful to Ian Fleming. That's eventually what gave him his fatal heart attack. The stress of it was just too much, and he died from it. So
Wow.
say what?
Oh, sorry. I said, oh, also there. I just learned that there was with the movie, the original Addams Family movie. Paramount, I think it was Paramount. They got into a big scuffle with the original producer of the TV show, because the names like Gomez, Morticia, all the sort of the relationships and stuff that they had, and Thing, all came from the show itself. And I don't think, and there was they settled out of court, I believe, with Paramount and the writer, but there was the idea that, like, hey, those were all my sort of creations, and then the movie just kind of took those and ran with them, and I didn't get any credit for that. So there's definitely that sort of like idea there that, like, okay,
yeah, like, all that is to say is that, like, it's great that a lot of these stories are now coming out, and we can kind of retcon what we believed to be true with actual truth, and again, who knows what the actual story is here. I mean, this could be a complete fabrication of the truth. Probably not, because again, like, why would this story be told now if it didn't have the basis or foundation of truth in it? Question is for you guys, what do you think? Are you familiar with the story of Herman Mankiewicz writing the movie Citizen Kane? Are you looking forward to the movie Mank as much as I am? Because this movie looks beautiful. Now, yes, the film is coming out on Netflix in November, I believe, but it's getting a theatrical release as well on December 9th. So if you are close to a movie theater, next week I'm doing an editorial, or rather I've already recorded an editorial, but I will be releasing an editorial of my return back to the movie theaters. I feel safe. If you feel safe, I highly encourage going back to the movie theaters to see this film. It looks like the kind of movie that can only do justice. It can only do justice to the film, to the story, to the acting, to the experience in theaters. So anyway, guys, like I said, I want to know what your thoughts are. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know what those are. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Scrooge McDuck would want you to do. DuckTales, woo!